Now, the big key with these that I find is that players are frightened of the bank, and they're like, oh, I'm in the sand, I've got to lift it out. And it's quite the contrary. If you sit up here and you try and lift it with the club or your hands going this way, all that ends up happening is you hit a lot of these shots that you hit the sand way too early, and you keep doing that sort of stuff, which you can ramp out of the bunker if it's like that. But if it's a flat face, you just spend all day going up and down. The big key with this is it's pretty similar to the concepts, even when it's muddy like this, it's pretty similar to the concept of that pitch shot, where through impact with the sand, because you're not hitting the ball, you're hitting the sand, right? The impact with the sand, you're trying to have the handle leaning forward. So the handle's leaning forward as you're hitting the sand. Yes, I'm hitting the sand well before the ball. I'm not actually hitting the ball, I'm hitting the sand. But my handle at the point of impact with the sand is forward, driving it, and then the handle can go past, if need be. The handle at the point of impact with the sand is not leaning backwards. The handle leaning backwards, it's a very different strike in the sand. And I can stand here all day and just have if the handle's going backwards, I'm not going to get out of the bunker. It's going to go way all over the place. If I can get the handle leaning forwards, then I've at least got some chance. I should be able to get it out. There you go. Having the handle leaning forwards that way. Getting used to that action. Yes, is my body moving? Yes. So obviously, there's some very fancy, to hit like the Sevi or the fancy bunker shots, you're getting low and you're getting forward and you're doing all these awesome, cool things to hit cool bunker shots. It is hard sand, isn't it? But that's not the least of our worries for a start. The first thing we're going to get used to, especially considering the ground conditions, it's good to learn on the hard stuff, they tell me, is to get used to, we'll do the old line in the sand trick, but just getting used to, from here, you can literally have the shaft lined up with the line in the sand, and through impact, having the sensation of hitting that line with the handle ahead of the line. So that's where you start. Obviously, with the club head off the ground, and then through impact, you're that way. So you can see that I've entered the sand right at that line. And the low point is probably, you don't need to. You can, that will increase the bounce and all the rest of it. Certainly of softer sand, more bounce is more handy. When we're playing out of the slightly harder sand or mud, it probably doesn't actually help having that much more bounce. Because I tried to bounce that one earlier and it just goes boing. But yeah, it can be a little open, 2-3 degrees, like maybe that much. It doesn't have to be like this. If you had a grass-faced lip that was this high, you're playing the British Open, then you'd have to do some cool, crazy stuff and entering the sand and doing crazy cool stuff. But we're not worried about the super lob bunker shot just yet. But I would love you to order about, if you can get consistently out of this muddy stuff, wow. That would be good. But it will also help your pitching. So our main focus, I'm not going to, with the stance, we'll just say same as a 7-iron for the moment. We're not going to worry about the fancy stuff just yet. The shaft goes from that neutral position, like a pitch, to leaning forward. Yeah. Yeah, the line will pretty much be center. The ball's going to be pretty much in line with your heart. Hopefully it's on the left side. Hopefully. And then you go forward through impact. Now, depending on, that's a standard bunker shot, depending on how high you wish to go, that's when you can start to manipulate this part here. But only at impact, this is probably too technical, but at impact, that's where you are. If you wanted to go real the high release, you're going to let the head go more. Okay? But you don't want to go for the high one and into the sand like that and then do this, because then by the time you get to the ball, the club's going way left. You're going to thin it, top it, duff it, look like a fool. So normally most golfers, their first job in life is to get out of the bunker every time, and they're kind of happy with life. So that's going to be our first job, is just get used to hitting the line while having the handle ahead of the club head when we're hitting that line. Just getting used to that feel. All right? And then once you've got that consistent feel, by all means, when you put the ball in the way, great success. kind of makes sense. I love all the confidence right now. Everyone's like, oh, don't know how to get out of this mud stuff. So first thing you do, yeah, we'll rake it a little bit, but even straight off that clay stuff, it's still okay. You can still hit it. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. Any questions?